What's up YouTube? I'm John Wheels, and today we're going to be fixing a leaky gas cap on my Coleman CT200U EX mini bike. Alright, so I'm going to simulate normal riding, okay? So you can see, even just in shaking that, it's leaking a ton. So what we're going to do is basically, it doesn't seal around that edge there because this gasket's so small. So what we're going to do is make a bigger gasket that kind of takes up more area and is a little bit thicker. Alright, so here I have Felpro 3060 gasket kit, just a bunch of different gaskets. And anyway, we're going to use the 1/8 inch thick cork rubber to put on that gas cap. Alright, so I'm going to grab a Sharpie, and then I'm going to trace out as close to the edge as I can here the outline of this cap. So now I have a pretty good estimate about where the cap is, and I can take my current gasket, center it, and then trace the inside of my gasket, just like that, in the center. And now I have laid out a pretty close template, and then grab some scissors and cut just inside the outer one. And I'm going to ignore those bumps. That's just in the cap, doesn't need to be in the gasket. So it's better to cut bigger than smaller, so I can make sure, and then we can come back and trim the rest. So now I'm going to grab a razor blade and cut out this inside a little bit bigger than I would have then I drew the circle, because I traced the inside of the circle. So now it'll pop out. We can try and see. Alrighty, so there's that finished product. Fits in there pretty nicely. You can see how much bigger it is. So now we can go ahead and put it on. We should have a non-leaking gas cap. So that's nice and tight on there. Now it shouldn't leak. Alright, so after a ride, not as much leakage, but still a little bit. So what I'm going to try and do is get another gasket on there, which should hopefully solve the problem. Alright, so I tried it again, and with the cork gasket and the original rubber gasket stacked, there was no leak. So yeah, you can just get one of those cork gaskets and a rubber gasket, and that should solve your problem. Alright, so what I did is I put the old rubber gasket on first, and then I put the cork on top of it. And then what you want to do when you lock down the cap is don't twist it until it clicks, because it'll get looser. You want to like twist it like halfway, so that'll make it even tighter on there. So now you have a good tight seal and that won't leak for you. Alright, so I had tried one of these gas caps. It's for some sort of motorcycle. I saw a YouTube video about it, and they seemingly, well, they seal really great, but the problem is they're vacuum operated to open the vent, and my thought is that the engine does not pull enough vacuum in the tank, because it's not a pump, it's a gravity feed, to actually suck this out. This vent here, by getting sucked, opens a valve that seals against it to vent. So I think because it's gravity feed, it's just creating a vacuum at the top of the tank. Then it doesn't allow fuel down into the carburetor. It makes it seem like you've run out of gas, and the only way to fix that is to open the gas tank, let it air out for a second, and then put the gas cap back on. And no one wants to do that every, I don't know, like 5 minutes of riding. So this I would not recommend. Even though it seals well, it did not perform how I wanted it to. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment below.